everyone. Welcome back to Keeping Up with the Chaldeans. I'm Anthony Toma, your host, with my co-host there, Junior Binu. We're here with the owner of Citizens Bank, Citizens State Bank, Chris Yatooma, and the CEO, Dan Fischer. Hi, guys.
How you doing, Anthony?
Doing well.
How's it going?
Doing well. Thank you.
Well, first, we want to congratulate you
Yeah,
guys
congratulations.
on the acquisition of the bank. So that was a big move, especially being in our community. So that's a big part of it right now. So we like to welcome you on board with the Chaldean community, and then Chris for leading this for the Chaldean community with a new banking system that we've got to work.
The only Chaldean bank in
the U.S.
The world.
In the
Let's
world.
say the world.
Yeah. And mind
Maybe
you,
some in Iraq. Who knows?
well, it's crazy because mind you, right now, being that as we are as Chaldeans, Detroit is the highest populated place for Chaldeans in the world right now. So,
even more than Iraq.
Yeah.
Because after
wow.
everything with ISIS and all that, we dispersed so much that there wasn't much left. So right now, you're about to.
This is it. This is the most
concentrated you're about to serve
community.
the biggest community right now.
That's amazing.
Of yours in the world. So.
Yep.
Well, thank you for saying that. That's nice of you to say. We saw it as a real opportunity, just as banks get bought out, and obviously there was Bank of Michigan that was servicing the Chaldean community and really the needs of the Chaldean community with the money service businesses. Obviously they got bought out, and now that bank is going through another merger, and I think that those services probably won't be there for the community for a long time. And we're excited to. I'm honored to own the bank. I think it was an exciting opportunity for me, and excited to bring that to the community as well, and frankly bring the things from the community into the bank.
Right.
Extraordinary customer service, hard work, relationship driven. I mean, these are things that don't exist in banking right now, from my perspective.
And so you guys are here to bring that back. The art of banking has changed. You used to see a lot of good services to be able to walk into. We depended on that a lot when, for us especially as Chaldeans being retail merchants, that small business.
Cash heavy.
Yeah, cash heavy too. That's a big thing for us. So you guys sounds like you're taking it a step back, but still bringing with today's modern tech.
Yeah, maybe multiple
technology.
steps back.
Yep.
I think, as the banks have consolidated over the years in all parts of the country, the decision making has gotten further and further away from the customer.
Sure.
And so really what we're trying to bring back is the interaction with the customer, really be more of a partner to help them grow their business and service their business and understand their business, versus having them come in for, say, a loan and it goes to a committee somewhere in another place and they don't actually know who the people are or what they do. They just see only the customer on paper.
Sure. Now, the audience would want to know, and I'm sure a good amount, even myself, is how does something like this come to fruition? How'd you go in and say, I'm buying a bank today?
People ask me that a lot, and I say it's better to be lucky than smart. I've had the opportunity to buy a lot, real estate and different things, and try to invest in real estate. And as real estate prices went up, he said, it was like, oh, let's look for other opportunities. And someone said, what about a bank? So that's an interesting thought, And so I reached out to some people and said, how is that a possible thing? And frankly, too, just seeing how the community, the industry in Michigan wasn't servicing the cannabis banking. And that was really astounding to me. You have all these big banks, you have all these different banks, and no one was able to figure out how to service the cannabis industry. I said, wow, this is an industry, there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
If something so obvious isn't being serviced, there's a lot of opportunity here. So
especially within our community.
Right, exactly. So reached out to a few people and got a hold of, different lawyers and professionals that work on bank transactions. Said, hey, here's what I'm looking for. I don't know if it's possible or not. And they said, we have a deal up in Ontonagon that might be a perfect fit. I said, okay, so where's Ontonagon? Like, are you from, and these were people in different states and things. Are you from Michigan? Yeah, but I'm not familiar with Ontonagon. So we got out the Google Maps and figured out where Ontonagon was. And it's, I always joke around, right? Here's Michigan, right? Okay, here's the rest of it.
Yep.
It's all the way over by the Wisconsin border, Lake Superior. But great community up there. And it had a bank that'd been there.
Is it in the UP?
Yeah, Upper Peninsula.
Okay. I was wondering how it ordered Wisconsin.
Isn't that funny?
Okay, yeah.
But been there 110 years. Hadn't really progressed with the times as far as offering the services to the community. we kind of expect things in metropolitan areas that, there'll be online banking and cell phone banking and all the different things that
Sure.
have evolved over the last decades. And in a lot of these small towns, they don't exist. Those resources for the community doesn't exist. So anyway, so it's time for them to sell the bank. We were, and we were able, I went up there, met the board, me and my brother and someone else, and got to know them, build a relationship with them. It's a long process to buy a bank, going through the...
When did this first start? When the brainchild hit?
I could look up when I met them initially.
Fall of 19, right?
Fall of 19. You came on in 20?
I came on in 20.
So yeah, I think we closed in
in June of 2020.
We closed
I think
in June.
We started looking in the fall.
I think it was March of 19.
it's been a
Okay.
process.
Yeah, it took a minute.
Yeah, okay.
Took a
And
while.
it's not easy to get approved. To
So then you got to get approved by the Federal Reserve.
Right.
Yeah.
And to buy the bank, which was a long process.
Sure.
We had good people on the team that helped us through it, though. And we got approved.
Yeah.
We told them our plan. Our plan was to open a bank down in Metro Detroit
Sure.
to service the Metro Detroit market,
Yep.
because we thought there was a lot of opportunity here for a community bank.
Yep.
So Dan, what's the plan? What are you bringing to the table as the CEO, and how is our community going to benefit from
Yeah,
it?
that's a good question. So I spent 30 some odd years in the business. Started out in sales, kind of in the mortgage banking side of things as a loan officer, and then kind of rose through the ranks in various different organizations. But really, decided to kind of exit the larger bank executive kind of environment. To my point earlier about just getting away from common sense decision making, taking care of the customer. And so this is the third community bank I've been CEO of. I enjoy the community banking side a lot more because you wear a bunch of different hats. You're more involved in the community and you're more involved with the customer as well as your team. But really the plan here is to bring a very high level of technology and products and services that a larger bank would offer customers, but not necessarily have branches all over the place. Really be more focused on personalized service. We're privately owned, but we kind of have a persona of more of a private bank. So we're not really appealing to everybody. We're appealing to people who especially small business owners that really want to have a business partner in their bank, and help them grow their business, and then help them kind of potentially navigate difficult times as well as good times, because we know how business cycles throughout the various different economies that we have, and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world and in this country right now. So I think people saw that during COVID when PPP was rolled out. The value that community banks brought to the table to help with those loans versus the big banks. They were trying to figure out through a bunch of meetings and committees how to roll this out, and by the time they figured it out, all the community banks had done most of the lending. So really a high level of customer service, diversity in our balance sheet. So we're going to be doing cannabis banking. We're going to be supporting money service businesses. We're going to do residential lending, small business commercial lending. And then we'll have a very, very aggressive product that we'll market through, our regular, community activities, but also through the internet as a very aggressive money market account.
Right.
Highest money market rates in the country.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of, you mentioned PPP, there were a lot of programs out there that were being offered that were kind of backed by the government or funded by the government. Are there any programs out there that still exist that people can take advantage of through your bank?
Yeah, I think SBA is for small businesses, probably the best program out there and the most known program. That's part of our strategies. We're building an SBA division as well, really because that's kind of subsidized lending.
Sure.
That helps small business owners that are just getting started with their businesses, and then also helps with certain industries that typically banks kind of shy away from, like restaurants and things like that. So SBA will be a big part of what we do.
What's the government's role in making that an easier approval than it was before?
So the government basically takes the majority of the risk off the table.
Okay.
They take about 75% of the risk on a small business loan. And then there's actually an active secondary market for these loans. So, you hold a certain amount of that loan on your balance sheet, and then you sell the guarantee portion into the secondary market, so you earn fee income for that. But it's very specialized. A lot of banks and banks I've worked for, and I've actually tried to get in that business before, but you really have to hire someone who has many, many years of expertise in SBA to really understand how to navigate it. So, that's another one of our philosophies is, we have great technology. We really invested a lot in that, but also, we hire people, not necessarily for a specific job, but we hire really good people that have the same kind of work ethic and hustle that we're looking for, that are really going to go above and beyond for our customers, but also for us.
Gotcha. Are you guys ready for that, for the applications to start coming through right now?
On the SBA?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's tricky. I just want to touch. I never understood how in depth SBA can be on things and what loans they would deny. I tried to get a credit line for the store years ago, like about a year after we opened, and they shot it down.
I think a lot's changed though.
Well, it wasn't about my store. It's about what she explained to me. This is Bank of America, mind you. She said, just to let you know, we're not giving you a hard time or anything. We deny McDonald's, we deny Domino's. She goes, even like if somebody comes to open up a gun store, we won't even touch them. So it's not just because you see it as a big bank, big name. The SBA and credit lines and small business, the loans, they get scrutinized heavy because nobody wants to take a failure client. Sure. And high-risk clients.
There's a right way to do it where you can definitely increase the risk of the percentage of acceptance, and we've been starting to research that and talk to the people and start to build out a plan of what that would look like to build that team. We just opened in October. The branch down here. So we've rolled out all the technology. We're obviously doing the cannabis banking. We're doing money service businesses. We're doing the mortgage lending, so it's just we
want the bank to improve it.
Right.
But we did. Services. We did $30 million worth of loans this year, even before we were open. And that was mostly commercial real estate.
Okay.
A lot of owner-occupied commercial real estate. Some not non-owner occupied. But we started doing loans just from relationships that we have, and Chris has, so we have been lending. We have been doing mortgage loans. SBA is probably a Q2 of this year. We'll be rolling out our SBA platform. So things I've all done before in my previous career, and we have a really good team.
Just got to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Right, we want to make sure what we're doing well, servicing the customer well.
That's what I want to ask. So what is going to separate Citizens State Bank from the rest of them right now to attract us to say, you know what, it seems like they are doing these things? Like, what's some of the things that you'd be offering that other bigger corps won't do, or that you're going to implement in your banking?
What I've found is, understanding more about banking now than I did when I started my business or throughout my businesses, large banks are focused on large corporations.
Sure.
They'll take your money and they'll lend it out to the larger corporations, but they're really not focused on servicing the small business owner or the individual. I mean, how many individuals that are with a bank know who their banker is?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, who could call on their cell phone, hey, I have a question, I saw this on my statement, I have a fee. Unless you're a high net worth person, generally you don't get that service from the bank.
Sure.
At our bank, you'll have a personal banker, regardless of your deposit size, regardless if you're a business or a personal, an individual. So, right there, I think that sets us apart a lot. But the other is smaller businesses, if you're not a large corporation, you should be with a community bank. But a community bank that understands your business, is dynamic, can move quickly, and help and support you. So, all the things that Dan mentioned, the money service businesses, the cannabis lending, residential mortgages, the aggressive commercial lending. These are things that most banks aren't doing. The big banks are too big to do it. They have too many departments. They got to go to New York to make decisions. And a lot of the smaller banks just maybe aren't as ambitious or enough to really focus on these things.
Yeah, and
not all of them. There's other good banks out there.
Sure.
Yeah. And to add to that, I mean, I've worked in a lot of different size banks, and learned over the many years of kind of things like what not to do versus what to do.
Yep.
And just as an example, and I won't use the name of the bank, large national bank, major player in the mortgage business, and I was in a pretty good sized metropolitan market, but our underwriting department was in another city, and so we're trying to do loans for people, trying to get they're trying to move into their house, they're trying to get their loan closed. And you call down to try to find out what's happening with the loan, and it's after 5 o'clock, so the underwriter went home, right? And the people's supposed to close.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I would say, just as a small example, is we're not going to go home until the job is done.
Right.
Right.
And we're going to make sure that the customer is taken care of. So if we say, hey, you're going to close on Thursday, at 5 o'clock, we're going to make sure that it happens for you, and we're not going to leave you hanging. We had a situation earlier in the year where I got a call from a realtor that I work with, and this person here in this market here in Birmingham was supposed to close on her loan that day, and the loan that she was working with, the mortgage company, they turned her down the day of closing.
Moving trucks are there. They're
Right.
supposed to close. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
this is a,
That's
you know,
crazy.
So we were able to turn
life-disrupting
that thing around in
Oh, good.
4 days for her. So it couldn't close that day, obviously,
Right. Well,
but
Think about that
You're
though.
just
We
getting
heard
it now,
about it.
right?
We hear about it. 4 days later, we're closing.
That's awesome.
I mean, big banks can't do that. A lot of small banks don't care to be, move that quickly. I mean,
Yeah. So it's your
So
corporate.
talk a little bit about the technologies that you guys are implementing and instituting.
so our commitment is to have all the same technologies and products that the big banks have.
Mhm.
The remote capture, online banking, cellular banking. There's some larger businesses we're working with that need pretty sophisticated analyzed accounts. Frankly, if it's something we don't have that you think of value, we'll probably go get it. And we really want to have everything. That's our commitment, to make a large investment in the technology so we can service everybody.
That's
Yeah.
I
big.
mean, we work with the largest bank software provider in the country, and so we were both committed to, when we started to create the strategy for the bank, that we had to have the best technology.
Gotcha.
Just to touch lightly, because our community is heavily involved, and you guys are saying you're cannabis friendly right now, so you're accepting accounts, bank accounts, and all that for it. That's all aspects of it, whether it's a provisioning, where it's anything that's licensed in the state right now. What
Tier
about
2 as well?
That's what it is. Just curious, because they get to be left behind. Is the caregivers an issue to be able to bank? Because sometimes they see a little more cash influx coming in from caregiver, and they end up wanting to kick them out too.
I don't know how to bank, to be compliant with anti-money laundering laws.
Yep.
To bank caregivers. I know obviously if we can figure out
Yep.
a way to do that, I'm
Yep.
open, I'm all ears, but I don't know how to be compliant with federal regulation.
Yep.
Um,
Even if they register, because some of these guys are registering their businesses, that they're consulting under this industry, they're doing things, but still they're getting knocked right out the bank, even though they're,
we'd be happy to look at it,
yeah.
but we have not cracked that nut yet, to be honest.
Okay.
We're programming rolled out for the
Yep.
licensed cannabis businesses or people that are supporting the cannabis industry. And again, of course, the money service business as well.
Mhm.
But we have not really figured out. We're happy to have conversations if people have
Yeah.
thoughts, but how to bank the caregivers,
Caregivers.
and still be compliant with
Yep.
the federal law.
Yep. Federal law.
So
We're FDIC insured, right? So the feds are a partner in the bank, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So you're a public bank. What's your ideal customer?
I really want all customers. It's I want the 25-year-old that's just starting out that maybe has a few $100 in their account, just because they're going to be the future.
Yep.
I want the small business owner, even some of obviously our community. I always didn't like when people call me small business. Like, well, I'm not. Why you call me small?
Right.
Like, why? But the small, medium, whatever, or large
Yeah.
small business owners. There's even some corporations that. We're probably not. They're going to be their only bank. Large corporations, but saying, hey, we understand the value of banking with community banks, and we understand being invested in the community, not just having all of our money with one of the largest banks in the world. So even those customers, some of the municipalities and counties have banked with us already. As we're an Oakland County headquartered bank. We're the newest bank in Metro Detroit.
Yep.
So I think we have a wide service offering, and we're going to treat everyone like they're an owner of the bank. We're going to get extraordinary
Well, I think
customer
it's
service.
relationship driven. I mean, that's how I would answer that question.
Yeah.
Is because we're not going to have branches all over the place. It's if somebody walks in off the street, we certainly want their business. Obviously, they probably live in the area or work in the area.
Sure.
But someone who wants to have a relationship with their bank, that's a little bit more meaningful. And then we want to have a relationship with them. So, I mean, we're aggressive. So if somebody comes in and they're business banks with us, we're asking them, okay, well, how about, your uncle, your brother, your cousin, your, where's your kid's account? Do you have a savings account? Do you have a 529? I mean, we're going to ask for that because we want the relationship.
Well, we're a small business, right? I mean, we're a bank, we're FDIC insured. I mean, it's cool, right? But at the end of the day, we're still a small business right now.
Yep.
And like all of us that started small businesses, we got to hustle to grow our business and to.
I tell people we're not. I mean, we're a bank, but we're really a growth company.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our focus.
Are you guys doing credit card services for the businesses? So if I wanted to get a merchant service through you guys, do you?
We are not. We are actually in the process right now of maybe doing a partnership deal with someone who is in that business.
Yep.
That's a whole nother kind of bailiwick to get into, and there's a significant investment in that. But we will be able to offer that to our customers at some point, but we're probably not going to do the processing ourselves.
Yep.
And so you're hiring.
Yeah.
Oh, but go ahead, finish.
I was going to say, look, I think like any good small business, right? You want to keep growing, keep offering more services, but you want to make sure what you're doing well, right? So we're doing a lot of things already right now, a lot more than most banks, even with the money service businesses and the cannabis banking. So we want to make sure we're doing those things well, servicing our customers extraordinarily, and then keep adding more, right? So the credit card processing, the SBA, these are on the horizon. We have a plan, but we just want to wait to roll it out until we're really fully stabilized in these other departments.
Yeah, sounds just like a solid plan. So you are hiring, and you are Chaldean-owned, and you welcome Chaldeans to apply.
We would love to see. You've helped me try to find some Chaldean employees. We'd love.
What positions are out there? If you want to just pitch them out there, see what they're looking for. If it's all of them, or it's a few, if you want to.
Yeah. So. One of the areas that we're really staffing up right now is in the mortgage area. So we're looking for loan processors, underwriters, closers. I think it's a very tight labor market, but also retail people. So people to work in the actual bank branch from a retail perspective. So again, but we do hire people too. So we're really looking for people who have the work ethic and the focus, that's consistent with what our culture is. And I have always had a lot of success hiring good people that, kind of want to grow with the company and have the potential. And so we're willing to train folks. We obviously need to have some experienced people, which we do already. But we see this, like I said, as a growth company. So we're willing to take a chance on people that we feel have what it takes.
Commercial banking as well. And on the sales side, on the residential, more residential
loan officers.
Residential loan officers. I tell Dan, Dan obviously wasn't born Chaldean, as you may be able to tell by his complexion, but he does a blood transfusion every week. Yep. He's Chaldean now.
Okay.
So,
so we got Dan Armstrong. He's gonna be able to switch bloods in the night. It'll be white on the weekends. It will be Chaldean during the weekday, right? We'll do the mix of both.
Chaldean every day.
We'll give it to you. Yeah, we'll give you both. But
it's your favorite Chaldean food, Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, don't.
Some of the clients are bringing in the baklava,
spot, right?
Yeah,
the Gasso's bringing in their food.
Oh, those guys are.
They're fantastic.
Oh yeah,
they're fantastic.
The boys.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're a riot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good crew.
He was on the show.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
For what?
Level
1.
Level 1.
No, level plus.
Level
realty.
plus.
Level plus realty. Sorry, because we're all on that level.
So what is that? What brother is that?
That's
Salim.
Sam.
Okay.
Yep.
So Naj's brother?
That would be.
Or different?
No, that'd be different. No, that's.
No, but they're all related. All the Gassos are one.
Okay.
Good crew though. Very good.
Yeah, great, big family.
Big in the community.
Tough family.
Yeah. Well, at least it's good to have you in our community.
Yeah.
With all the experience, sounds like you're going to be good for the team and take the Yatooma family to another level with this banking, because we need it, not just for let's just skip the whole cannabis. I mean, because we know many of us in it, but we just need it. It's just good for the support part. That's the big thing. We like to support one another, and it was there when Bank of Michigan was there. So it's like, here, let's bring it right back. And you guys are the ones that fill the good shoes right now.
Well, I mean, I'm glad to be here and have had an opportunity to meet a lot of folks in some of the Chaldean chamber functions, and just a very, very warm group of people have welcomed me, and I've had an opportunity to work at the bank with a lot of our new customers coming in, and we have customers from everywhere. So, the opportunity to work with Chris has been a lot of fun. We balance each other out pretty well, but I'm not your traditional banker. I'm more of an entrepreneurial guy. I grew up New York, and kind of made my own way in the world, and hustled as a little kid to make a few bucks here and there, and so that's why I don't work in a big bank anymore. I really enjoy the kind of growth company environment.
Dan's the CEO. He's only got one phone number on his business card. It's a cell phone. Right. Yeah. So you call him he goes to bed a little early, but you call him 9, 10 o'clock at night. He's taking that call or texting you back.
Nice.
I go to bed earlier than you, but I don't go to bed that early.
But, Junior, I really appreciate you saying that. Honestly, it is an honor. I'm humbled by the opportunity, to be the only Chaldean bank
glad to have
owned in the country. And I'm excited to really service the community. And you look at, and I'll say this now to the audience, if there's an issue, obviously we have good people that work at the bank, but you can't resolve with them, call me.
Sure.
So you'll have Dan's cell phone number, and you can always call me as well.
Sure. Awesome.
Your phone won't be ringing if Dan's handling.
That's right.
Right, exactly. That's the idea.
Because
Right?
if you call him before you call me, he's just going to call me. So you might as well just call me.
What's where's the bank located?
So we're right on Woodward Avenue between 14 and 13 Mile. And we bought the old Pure Sleep mattress store right next to Calmata there on Woodward. And it's a 6,000 square foot building, and we took it down to the block and rebuilt it. It's a beautiful building. We welcome everybody to stop by anytime.
Our goal when we did this was, first class technology, first class people. We have an excellent team, and then really a first class facility as well.
Yeah.
And if you go there, I think you'll see that. But we're just really trying to give a different experience. It really is banking reimagined. Trying to give a different experience to people than what has become the case, I think. And I really believe that's because the industry is dominated by the big banks. There was small banks, they get bought out by medium-sized banks. Medium-sized banks get bought out by big banks. And the big banks, if we're being honest, are focused on the corporations.
Yes, sir.
That's their customer base. I mean, they won't. If you really talk to the executives, they won't deny that. I mean, that is their business model. I mean, so it's just to service the small business, the individuals. I mean, everyone that's a small business or individual should be with a good community bank that understands their business and feels they're dynamic enough to support their business.
Gotcha.
You heard it, folks.
Are we going to have a grand opening, an event, a networking event, something?
So we had a little
At the
grand
bank?
opening end of October.
Okay.
We opened the doors October 4th. We did something right before Halloween. I think it was October 28th maybe. A little grand opening event. Happy to do other events, maybe something with Chaldean Power or Chaldean Chamber. Keep letting people know what's out there.
Cool.
Well, the big thing I just want to say is that I'm glad you're bringing that old touch back. You know what I'm saying? Forget the whole side of your money business service. We all know we all go into business to make money. We get it, but when we lack that opportunity, it hurts us. And so the viewers know, 65% plus of the business force is made up of small businesses in this country. 65% of that, and we get neglected. We get shit on, a lot of times because again, we're not looked at as a conglomerate Fortune 500 and so forth. So you guys bringing that back, it helps us a lot. So if that's what your job is and that's what you're doing, then I commend you for that because we lost it. It hasn't been there.
We appreciate that, and I think it's an opportunity for us too. I mean,
there's a void in the
You feel a good
the void in the marketplace. We saw the opportunity, and we were able to. There was an opportunity to get involved, and we were able to get involved.
Are you guys on any social media? Is there anything that you guys are?
Yeah, we have a
promoting?
Facebook page, and we're on
what
LinkedIn and Facebook.
Just Citizen State Bank, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's the Citizen State Bank Facebook page.
Okay, great. So people can find you, see some of the stuff you guys
we
are
have
doing.
some marketing folks that try to keep that fresh and put different. We're actually going to start featuring some of our customers on the Facebook page and on
nice.
LinkedIn.
Testimonials. Why not?
Yeah, we're getting some cool testimonials. Like the person, she was literally moving trucks, and she had a plan to leave, and then she gets a call. I'm sorry, we can't fund your mortgage. Not like, hey, we're going to fund 2 days late.
Right.
Just like, hey, I'm sorry, we're not doing this loan anymore.
Happening. Yeah.
And we did it in 4 days. I mean, so
That's amazing.
you get these letters that are really inspiring, frankly, and encouraging, and to share that with people is something we'll start doing.
Beautiful, man.
Do you want to shout out any of the people at the branch?
I think we have an excellent team. We have a couple of Chaldeans that are working there. They're doing an excellent job, really providing the values of our culture and our community to everybody, and certainly to our community as well. The hard work, the focus, the relationship. You know, we're a very hospitable people. You know, and you know, and we're going to treat everybody everybody that comes in as an owner of the bank.
Very good.
Good.
Anything else we didn't cover that you want to plug or share with the audience that we didn't talk about?
No, I think you'll see us out and about quite a bit, certainly in the chamber events. And Martin Manna has been very supportive of the bank, and we appreciate all of his efforts to help us, and a lot of other folks in the community as well. And you know, we did just bring on a new vice president of business development, Raina Adu, who's part of the community. And then we have some other Chaldeans that will be joining us here. They to be announced.
Yeah. Nice.
But I think people in the community will recognize them, and I'll be excited that they'll be joining our team.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well, we close out every show with with the final question, that is, what does it mean to you to be Chaldean? We can pose that to you, and then what does it mean to you to be Chaldean by blood and fusion? But so
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, that's what we try to stump our guests, put them on the spot.
You know, I really just love our culture so much. You know, what I realized later in life was our ancient culture. You know, a lot of people, maybe, you know, Ur of the Chaldees still there today in Iraq. Abraham came out of the land of Ur of the Chaldees. It's in the Bible. And if you look at a lot of those ancient civilizations, they're gone, right? I mean, my daughter is 14 years old, and she's just like a history professor. We're going through all these different.
That's so cool.
We're going through these different ancient civilizations. They're gone. You know, the Samaritans, the Ishmaelites, and Chaldeans are still here.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's kind of cool in and of itself.
It really is.
You know, when Job's flocks were all destroyed, when Job was going through that trial, the Chaldeans were the ones that raided those flocks. I mean, anyway, so I think that's a pretty cool thing. Just, you know, the shout outs in the Bible that we get, and but I think just our hospitality as a community, friendly, supportive, hardworking, the entrepreneurship. I mean, I feel like we're almost doing a favor to America. I mean, not to be
sure.
I mean, it's like you just said, small business, 65% of the employment. We're obviously a small population within the country. But I mean, we are pushing so hard on the entrepreneurship and small business, probably more on a percentage basis than any other community in the country. I mean, I don't have any data on that, but it's probably right though.
That's probably right, yeah.
And I just think that, you know, we're I mean, you and I were talking about before we got on here about your business and how you got into your business 99, but obviously you doing this for the community. I mean, the entrepreneurship, the support of the community is just something that I think is really cool.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I take a lot of satisfaction in that. And I'll just say one more thing. You know, my dad died when I was young. Obviously, he was born in Iraq. You know, so I wasn't as engaged in the community for a long time. I went to a different school than a lot. And it was really through work that I kind of got more reconnected with the community over the last 20 years or so. And I just really love our community. I think I have a different perspective. I almost felt like, you know, look, I was teased in school. You know, I was called meat pie. You know, we brought meat pies for lunch. It's called meat pie.
The same. It's embarrassing to bring them, but they were so delicious.
But wait, the school you went to, there wasn't a lot of Chaldeans there, or no?
No. The Chaldeans weren't. I mean, we're talking the 70s.
Right. So you're a little, right. So ours there was more, but we went to. Dad put us in private school for whatever reason, and we were the only Chaldean. It was like a novelty. Like, what's Chaldean? My brother had a camel on his back in his varsity jacket.
Yeah.
I went to.
That's great.
But you know, it's been like kind of. I feel like I have different perspectives because of that. And, you know, just kind of like maybe kind of wasn't as connected from my whole life in the community, and I just think like all the communities I've interacted with, Chaldean's my favorite.
Nice.
What
about you, sir?
I mean, that's I have to be honest. I mean, I didn't really know anything about the Chaldean community before I moved to Michigan a year ago. I'm not from here.
1 year ago?
Yeah, I moved here in September when Chris hired me, and you know, I spent. We opened the branch in October, but I spent almost a whole year over in Chris's, you know, kind of parent office where we have all the other different companies that he owns, and you know, really just got to know the people there, but spent a lot of time with Chris and his brother. Got to know their family a little bit, and you know, in your life you come across special people,
Yeah.
And just the generosity and just the way they made me feel like part of the family. And then as I've met more people in the Chaldean community, customers, people that Chris has introduced me to, you know, just the work ethic, the generosity, the warmth, you know, it's just really, really nice. And I enjoy it. And that's for me what makes it special. And then, you know, some tough negotiation too is always a little fun.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just it's a neat community, and the people I've met have been very, very nice, and I enjoy working with them a lot.
Awesome. Cool. Close us out, Jay.
Cool. So it was great having you guys, and we wish you the best of success from Anthony and I and the Keeping Up with the Chaldean team. We want to see it. So hopefully in a year from now, we'll see you on your second or third location. That's going to be down in the Metro Detroit area. We'd love to see that. So
Okay.
we want to let the viewers know that you guys can follow us on Keeping Up with the Chaldeans YouTube channel, and you get to see Citizen State Bank information. So if you want to be able to support and go see what these gentlemen offer in their banks, it'd be great to. And remember, take heed. They're bringing back to what 65% of the United States needs, and that's personal banking versus business banking. And if anything, you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, catch us on YouTube, and make sure you go support these guys and support us and keep your community ahead. And that's it. Signing off from myself, Anthony Toma, gentleman from Citizen State Bank. We will see you on the next one.
Thanks so
Hey,
much,
thanks
guys,
so much for
having
doing
us.
this. It was really great.
Thank you.